We're not showing the pictures of my butthole.
And with that, we've started the podcast. Welcome to the highly anticipated stream podcast thing that we're going to do. So, with me today, I have two very special people. Two very, very special people. I have Jack.
Hello.
Yeah, he's awkward. We're still
Yeah.
learning how to do this. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then we have Laney. Laney is Jack's significant other. And Laney's also plays RuneScape a little bit. Jack's got about a 1900 total, around the same style as me, and Laney, I think, is kind of just passively playing it, but she still plays it, so points to her.
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
I got her into it.
I don't
She's
like
still
it,
learning.
but
You
I
don't
play
like it.
it.
It's a problem. So, guys, this is gonna be a really fucked up situation. Just gonna be honest with you. I'm very much intoxicated, so I don't even know what my words are going to be. So, from this point forward, question wise. Nothing's off the table. Anything is speakable, spoken, and usable. Let's go with relating RuneScape to real life. You were talking about math earlier, Jack. You were talking about math.
Yeah, I mean, like, everything in RuneScape has, like, fixed experience and stuff, so it's kind of just help with my mental math. You know, you could do quick divisions and stuff, figure out how much of something you need to get a certain level. All the levels are fixed experience, you know, like things are pretty constant, so it's really easy to just kind of just stay up on your math game, you know.
No, I get that. No, I mean, I feel like RuneScape really put me into a path of being able to do more than one thing at once because, like, I wanted to become so efficient. I don't know if you guys have ever been, like, doing a skill and you were just like, this does not, like, this is boring, so what do I want to do? Like, you'd open up another account. Like, what, remember when I had, like, what, 6 accounts doing cannonballs just because I was bored?
Yes, that was insane.
That
Yeah,
was
I could not think
hilarious.
like that.
Well,
I'm
remember I
like
was
a
questing. I was questing on each of those accounts to get the levels, and then I was then doing cannonballs afterwards on top of it. That was a fucking weird time. Laney, what about you? Like, have you ever had a situation where, like, RuneScape taught me this, or are you just still learning the whole
Um,
atmosphere?
I don't really know, but like I like how it gives you like small objectives. Like I know like Jack is like my coach kind of. He'll be like, "Okay, like your like main goal is to like complete like get this level of wood cutting. So like play this mini game to help you with your wood cutting." And it's like I don't know, it's good to have like small goals, and that goes for like real life as
It's
well.
like a good dopamine fix too when you hit one of those goals. It really does.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
nice when like the confetti comes out and you're like, "Oh,
it caters to a lot of people though. You know, like she likes games where it tells you what to do, and a lot of RuneScape's like aimless and pointless, and you're just kind of walking around doing whatever you want, and you could even just stand in a bank and socialize with people if that's what you want. But I mean,
you can do whatever you
she,
want essentially. That's
I
the
think that's
good
why
part.
yeah,
it's so hard for me to play because like I don't know what to do. And like that's why I do a lot of quests cuz it's just like steps to do and then I do it and then I'm done.
It's kind of
yeah,
like every game's guided with an objective now. Name me one game in the past like 10 years that hasn't been like, do this mission, get this reward, this is your objective, go here, waypoint. You know, like, I have not seen a game, honestly, in so long not be so straightforward. The game that I'm started playing, Sekiro. You guys know Sekiro, like the Dark Souls kind of hybrid? It's a really hard game, mainly because it does not guide me anywhere. And I think that's probably the
yeah.
biggest problem. Is like we've become so spoon fed. Imagine if a Legend of Zelda from like back in the day was released now. People wouldn't know what to do. No cheats. You couldn't find them. You didn't know where to go. You just had to fucking go, essentially.
Yeah, I hated Dark Souls when I played
Well, I
it.
mean,
I know
it's a
that's
specific
an
audience, of
unpopular
course. A
opinion.
specific
Yeah,
audience.
I feel like it's such an unpopular opinion to have because everyone I talk to is obsessed with it. Like I respect the game a lot. I sucked, and it got really frustrating really
Oh, dude,
fast.
I've tried to try playing that game while high. That's a challenge, man. That is a literal challenge. If you ever get a chance to have something in your life and you're intoxicated to that point where you're like, you know what? I'm gonna try this, and then you do. It is. I killed a boss while intoxicated. Let me just explain to you how messed up this was. I was killing this boss, and in my heart, I literally felt like it felt like I was staking in RuneScape, like I was staking a bill in RuneScape. That's how much my heart was beating because I had no health. I was one hit away from death, and the boss was one hit away from death. So I'm over here like
Oh my
panicking,
god.
freaking the fuck out because like I've tried to kill this boss for like an hour and a half. finally kill him, right? Finally get him. And I am sitting there like, it was the most dopamine rushed life feeling I have had in so long. It was actually just so fucking weird.
I mean, I get that a lot from RuneScape too.
Jack
You
gets
know,
sweaty. He sweats.
He sweats?
Thing.
Tell me.
When I
Go.
drive,
No, no, no.
I get adrenaline
No,
rushes,
I need to
man.
hear this from Laney, not from Jack. Laney, go on, please.
Like he'll get so excited. He like an actual bead of sweat will like roll down his arm.
My God. Like,
I get adrenaline
adre-
rushes, man. I get into it.
adrenaline
You know,
rush from what? Like gaming? I'm confused. Like, are
driving,
you driving?
playing
Oh,
games.
driving.
I could see you in
Yeah.
Ulm with the sweat dripping down, like just like dun 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 dun, just like sweat dripping, bead by bead
Yeah,
every
pretty
time
much.
every time the crystal hits, another drop comes down. You know?
Yeah, honestly, exactly. You
Dude, I'm
know,
the
I
same
mean,
way.
It's a
Like,
workout.
remember when we were learning to do Ulm and like learning how to do raids? Remember how scared we were that we were about to get fucking stacked out? Or when you go in the wilderness to do a clue, you're like, not today, Jesus.
I mean that's what I was gonna say earlier. Like, RuneScape's also given me a lot of nostalgia over the years. You know, like you can go back to doing Jad, and it's still really exciting, and you're still nervous, just like the first time you did it.
Oh, you remember
Same
that?
thing with like Ulman stuff. You know, they're adding a lot of new content that's really easy to get like hooked on.
Is that why we're growing so much? If you think about it, is that why RuneScape, as far as an old school style, is growing? I mean, I think personally, you have people of all ages coming back to the game. I mean, people upwards of 70-year-old men still play this game because I think of that artistic value that this game brought to the scene. I mean, think about any other game that spanned this many years through this point. Like, how far really have we gone?
I
And we can
mean,
still come back to this game and like
they've
it.
made a lot of great updates to the game. You know, I'm glad they came out with old school RuneScape because I think they would have lost a lot of the community had they not done that. I
That was
mean,
well, I knew So Wrecked, the guy who got the poll originally through there. One of the nicest men, first of all, ever. I just wanted to put that out there. He's super nice dude. Legitimately one of the most heartfelt men in the community.
it's awesome. I mean, yeah, you know a lot of famous like old YouTubers, don't you?
Well, I mean, I guess you could say no and just an acquaintance with anymore. I mean, back in the day, I did do a lot of conversation wise with people. I mean, still one of the most biggest supporters of my YouTube channel, Ian Spam, Pure Spam as well. You know him as that. Ian, he is one of the first people that ever helped me get subscribers, and that was around the same time, maybe a little bit earlier, before I had a guy named Framed Kevin. Before he had really blown up, he only had about 5K subs, and he didn't even care. He was like, "Hey, come check out my awesome friend." He was live streaming. Come check out my awesome friend PhD doing voices. And from that point, I was kind of friendly with them, but I never really fully, I'd say, knew them. They knew of me. They were just really honestly nice and cordial about everything. I think that helped a lot. But I mean, that's the thing. You learn a lot, and it might sound crazy to say like you learn a lot about real life situations when it comes to like your RuneScape's experiences. But think about it. I interfaced with so many people here. I've talked to Mod Reach before. I've talked with Jack Mob. These high level people that honestly I feel like I learned how to talk to someone who is professional through those conversations. Yeah. And they didn't require me to fly to the UK. It was just.
I mean, I made a lot of connections with people just in my day to day life. Like outside of RuneScape, I was on mobile at the bar, and like they just recently came out with mobile last fall, and I took advantage of that. I got a phone that wasn't iOS, and I got to sit at the bar and just play on my phone. And a stranger I didn't know just came up and slid his phone in front of me to show me his stats, and we bonded over that. Now he's like a really good friend.
Yeah.
I mean, you know him, Mufasa.
Yeah, Mufasa's fucking awesome. He's pretty cool.
He's great, and I mean, it helps as much of an antisocial game as it can be. Like you can make really great lifelong friends from this. I mean, Mufasa is trying to help me find a job, and he's helping me move out of the state now. Like at the end of the month, he's going to be coming over to help me move a sofa. Like there's a lot of relationships built around RuneScape that kind of transcend the game.
It's
you know,
it's a different thing. I think the biggest issue these days, you get a lot of people like in Laney. I'm sure you get this. You see this a lot when you're playing. You get a lot of spam in RuneScape. I mean, even in general in life. I mean, I can't remember the last day I didn't get an email that was, just complete garbage. There's not been a day in the past 2 years I haven't gotten a random email that was not almost completely garbage or just spammy. Like you guys get the mail there, right? Obviously, you get mail. You probably get those ads that always come in, like the shopping ads. You tell me
Yeah,
one time you've used one of those fucking shopping ads. Can we just?
with the coupons and
Yeah.
stuff, I never use
Like
that stuff.
Laney, what about you, Laney? Like honestly, does that not feel like a waste of marketing?
It just feels like it's annoying. Like, I like woke up today and I had like 17 emails, which were all stupid. You know.
I think the weirdest part is the fact that these physical retailers are sending out mailings of, if that's an entire neighborhood, think of how much that cost to send. Like, it's not free, obviously. They had to mail it.
It's a lot of paper, and it's usually like colored paper.
Yeah, it's like it's chemically tainted paper, like fully inked. And I've still
yeah,
yet
it's
to really
gotta
figure out
cost a lot of
where.
money.
I mean,
Oh, I even like started to apply for a credit card, and Jack got like a paper in the mail, like asking me if
Yeah, I get papers in the mail every single week about fucking
new credit
being
card offers.
accepted for credit cards.
Those are the best.
You know,
No.
it's like the worst. It's like you've been pre-approved. I'm like, I don't want
to be.
this.
I don't want to be.
Like, please stop.
Dude, okay, so what's your guys' biggest time you've ever been lured in RuneScape? Like if you could think back, or like a time you've been scammed or lied to, or somebody pulled the wool over your eyes. Laney, I'll give you a minute to think about it. I want to ask Jack first, because I know you probably don't have as much of a story for it as far as that goes, but I'm guessing Jack's probably fucked you over in sometimes. So I'm just really curious to hear one of those. Jack, go ahead. Craziest lure you've ever experienced.
Man, I never been lured by people from like the GE. Once I got higher level, I kind of knew better. But I remember distinctly one time when I was like real little, back in probably 2004, I spent weeks trying to get a granite mall. They were like 150K at the time or something.
Yeah.
And I was so excited when I finally put enough money together from my 84 woodcutting to throw into a granite mall. I was standing on the Lumbridge Bridge telling everybody around me that I got this granite mall, and some kid said, "Wow, that's really cool, man. Can I hold it?" And me being a dumb, like 8-year-old kid said, "Yeah, man, sure, no problem." I handed my granite mall, and the dude logs out instantly. I cried so hard. My grandparents were yelling at me. It's just pixels. It's just a stupid game. But I worked so hard for that granite mall that almost ruined the whole game for me. I'll never forget it.
Dude, all right. So my story's my story's a little bit different. I have a couple, but I think I'll just settle on this main one, because this was by far the stupidest I have ever acted on a RuneScape platform. Okay, so I was young. I would say this is probably in the 2007, 2010 era, back before EOC had come out, and I was sitting there, and I was on my computer having a conversation with this girl. Now, this wasn't an e-girl. We were just friends. But then she messaged me like, "I can see you," and I was like, "Oh." At that time, it was the internet. That was not okay. That was not normal. Those were the days when they used to send to 10 people or you'll lose your family, and you were like, "I'm sending this to 10 motherfuckers. I ain't about to have, not today, Jesus." But like, I started freaking out. I know Joke was like trying to figure out how they got my phone number. Like, it was something that was so direct, like, "I'm right outside." Like, these messages, like, what the fuck? And it got to the point to where like I literally had to call my friend's mom, because I was so scared in my own home that I was going to be like abducted. I locked all the door. I locked a door that you couldn't even get to. How old were you? I don't know. I want to say like 10, 12, maybe. But like,
I see you.
But like, I didn't know what was going on, and it was just like, I was panicking. I literally locked a door that there was no stairs to. Like, it was a trailer, so like on the back there was like a hole for like our construction we were working on, and so there was just a door that didn't lead anywhere, and I still locked it. I was like, "Fuck it, not today." Nope. That's probably the weirdest like e-girl or problematic lure, in my opinion, that I've ever had. What about?
That's scary.
That's fucked up. That's the first time I've told that story in a long time.
I think since Laney hasn't really been playing much since I introduced her, she got Dragon Slayer done. I mean, she's done some pretty big nostalgic accomplishments for like the older gamers here, but uh, Laney, remember? I don't think you've ever really been scammed by a person,
I
but remember
haven't,
when I
but
took
like
you?
a specific like situation comes to mind more about like being deceitful online. I
Hmm.
know like I'm a girl character, I'm a
Yep.
girl in real life and I picked a girl character and I didn't really think about it. I was just like, oh, like my character is like a girl like me. And so I'm at the Grand Exchange with you
Yep.
and everyone starts handing me shit. Like everyone's like buying me outfits and like weapons and like all this stuff and like I was like, oh, like that's so funny. Like, oh, like I'm getting all this free stuff, like just because I'm a girl. And then Jack told me he was like, yeah, like people make their avatars girls, like just to like get free shit.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, like that's like kind of messed up.
It
That's a hundred
is.
percent what I hoped you would talk about. She was getting those Firewatch outfits that people were telling her she would look sexy in.
What
But
Yeah,
the?
then what got creepy was that one guy, what, like Divine Sloth
his
was
name was
his
Divine
RuneScape
Sloth,
name?
and
Wow,
he
you
like didn't
remember it. That's fucked up
Yeah,
that you guys
he
remember
didn't
it.
leave
That
me
shit's in your
alone for
head.
he
weeks
stalked
and
her,
weeks
man.
and weeks. And I got on by myself. I didn't know about like RuneScape Wiki at this point,
Yeah.
and I was trying to train range. And me and Jack don't live together, so like I like couldn't just ask him for help. So I got on, and I saw that he was on, and I was like, "Hey, like, can you help me do range?" And he like took me to like the sand crabs or whatever to do range, but then like he wouldn't leave me alone. Like he would not leave me for like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
What the fuck?
She
That
didn't know how to delete somebody, so I just hopped on her account,
got rid of him.
and then Homeboy started hitting her up, but it was
Oh,
me.
that's.
I just,
Oh, oh
I
no.
just, I just deleted him. I took care of it for her because
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was weird though.
no girl that like turns a girl away from this game. Like
That's the issue.
trying to enjoy it.
Is that now? Let's explore that issue. Let's explore that issue. So I'm gonna take a second and kind of go on a tangent here. Is that why there are such few female gamers in the gaming scene? Is that the reason? Is it because of the harassment or the constant barrage of the conversation about, ooh, there's a girl here, that makes it cute, like, no, like, why do we get so creepy when we see a girl with a controller? We're like, we could literally go from normal pastor to Catholic priest in about 3 seconds, like someone you would trust on Sunday to a person who just got convicted type of problem. That's it's
I mean,
seriously.
like, it was definitely really creepy, and it like definitely like made me realize like everyone on this game is a person that like, I don't know,
Yeah.
and they're like hitting on me and like buying me fake shit. Like for what? Like like they knew I was with Jack. Like Jack took me to the Grand Exchange, and so I was like with him, and like it was very apparent. And I was like, oh, like this is my boyfriend, whatever. And people were like, oh, like I'll buy your girlfriend for 20 coin or for
Now,
20.
hold on. There could be a miscommunication there. This could be like they may have thought that you were like his RuneScape girlfriend.
Maybe.
Because like when you say
Which is a
my
whole
GF,
nother weird topic.
yeah, that is actually a weird topic. As far as that goes, do you think that is the reason though? Is that the reason that most people, like females, don't want to get into gaming or nerd stuff? Is it because of like the fact there's such a male dominated community that they'd feel not threatened, more sexually or just like
creeped
emotionally
out.
creeped
Like
out?
it's definitely real creepy.
I don't know. What do you think,
And
Jack?
like it's way over sexualized, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you always get like the female armor and stuff in the game is always like very sexual based, like
Skimpy.
very. There's like, yeah, it always emphasizes like the breasts and stuff and like real short stuff. Like it's pixels, man. You can't sexualize pixels that much, Then it looks just kind of desperate.
Yeah, and that's a really another big part you got to think about. Like in RuneScape, right? So you have RuneScape and you have what a bunch of essentially different characters you can make, but two versions like male or female, and then you can do whatever else you want, right? So
Yeah.
what is stopping us from like becoming? Is this a society thing or is this just a gaming thing? Like how far does that go? Because
I mean,
that's the
people
bigger question.
pretend to be girls all the time for
It's
money. I mean,
that's fake social media. That leads right into the next point, doesn't it, Jack?
yeah, Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you look at Tinder as
Oh
an
God,
example, you get bots on Tinder and stuff that are
unlimited.
selling nudes of girls that aren't them.
Yeah, and not only
You know?
unlimited of like fake accounts, like the amount of fake accounts. It's like go here .jpg, and it's like just like that's first of
Yeah.
all that says JPEG, and if you're anybody who knows anything about computers, you need to turn around right now. What's your worst Tinder experience, Jack? Like if you could sum it all up in one word,
All right.
and then one full
Me.
story.
One word.
No, what one word to start, and then a whole
All
story
right.
behind it, kind of like a title, you know?
Okay. So how about crazy?
Ooh, I like it. Well,
Like just absolute,
crazy
absolute
period. It's crazy period, isn't it?
unpredictable. Maybe
Ooh,
that might be
yeah,
good.
unpredictable. All right, go on. Let's hear it. Let's hear
Yeah.
it.
Like so. I mean, I met Laney through Tinder, so there are good stories out of that. We've been dating for a year, and she's the love of my life. But I remember distinctly a few years ago in undergrad, before I met Laney, there was this girl named Isabella Aswad. I kid you not, her last name was Aswad, and she told me,
We love you,
well,
Isabella Aswad. This is all for love. This is all for love.
yeah,
Just so you know,
she said
Isabella
never to
Aswad.
call her. She said it's not Aswad, it's Aswad, but I mean, it sounds
I mean,
there's no
that's like
difference
saying
here.
it's grapes or crops. I'm just saying like ah.
It sounds exactly the same. Like I heard no difference, and I made the mistake of laughing at that.
Oh no. Oh no.
Well, this girl and I ended up hooking up, and then did I discover her crazy side?
What news?
Basically, yeah, man, it was wild. We probably saw each other for maybe 2 months, and then we stopped talking because spring break rolled around, and she comes back from spring break and was like, "Hey, I slept with two guys over spring break," and I was like, "Hey, well, see ya."
Who does?
Like,
Who says that? Who's just like
well,
I went and slept with two men the other day?
yeah, she just thought like owning up to it honestly like that would be
Wait, were you
forgivable,
were you
but I was like,
talking? Were
"Oh,
you
no."
dating? Wait,
We were just talking. We weren't
wait,
really
wait. But
dating.
still, though, that's just rude as hell. Like that's literally rude. Oh no, hold on. I got to swing over to Laney. Laney, is that not rude as hell? Like, can we
I've
exemplify
heard the
that?
story.
What was
Yeah,
your reaction when you heard the story? I mean, I know it's about another woman, but what was your reaction when you heard this story?
Like, what an asshole.
yeah, and it
Like,
gets way worse too. I mean, a couple months after spring break, probably around May, she I'm standing in line at the bank. I have some
in the
issue with my
student
debit
center, in
card.
our university student center.
Okay,
Yep. So it
okay.
was, it was crowded. There's probably 150 people around me. I'm standing in probably a 5-10 person line waiting to fix my debit card, and I look at the door, and in comes Izzy. She's coming in the door, and I'm like, oh God, not today. Like, come on, man. Like, I already have bank issues. Like, this day is not. This day is turning into one of my worst days. She comes in, we make eye contact.
Uh oh.
That's when I know I fucked up because she starts beelining it over from the doors right to me at the line.
Oh no.
She stops and she says, "You got me pregnant." And
What?
I was like, I haven't touched you in 4 months. It was probably one of those two guys you fucked over spring break, so I would have a conversation with them. And she started crying in the middle of the student center in front of all these people. She tried to embarrass me, and
Oh.
it didn't work out for her. And I was just mad. I'm already not in a great mood. So that you hear about that all the time. Like,
Wow.
yeah, and at that point we had no contact after the spring break debacle. So like we really haven't been talking, and a couple months pass after that, and it gets even crazier, man. Like this chick, I guess when we were first talking, I told her I had like a beach house, and I think I told her the street it was on because I was thinking like, well, the summer's right around the corner. Maybe we could like hang out at the beach sometime. And she took that as an invitation, even though we hadn't been talking for like 3 or 4 months. She just shows up at my beach
What
house and
the
texts me.
fuck? I'm so
She
confused.
shows she lives in upstate New York, right? And this beach house is in on the coast of Maryland. It's about
Whoa,
a seven
whoa,
hour drive.
whoa.
She made the decision at about 10 o'clock at night that she wanted to come down to my beach house. So she drove 7 hours overnight, shows up at my doorstep at about 4:30 in the morning and texts me and calls me, wakes me up, and she's like, "Hey, I'm here. Where's your house?" And I was like, "You're kidding, right? Like this. Stop calling me." And she's like, "Your house is on 142nd Street, isn't it? Like I'm here." And I was like, "No." And
No,
I
no,
went
no, no,
outside,
no, no,
and
no.
there's her car, man. There's her car. We hadn't talked in months, and she took it upon herself to drive 7 hours to my beach house. And I let her in, and I said, "Look, like you gotta go. Like I'm gonna let you sleep over in like another room. I'll set you up a bed, but like in the morning, you gotta go. Like I'm sorry, I don't know what possessed you to do this, but like you gotta leave."
Was this Miss?
And
This was Miss Asswad, right? No, this is
yeah,
Izzy Asswad.
yep.
Okay.
And in the morning, I woke up for work, and she left my house. Like she left right before I went to work, so I was like happy, and I locked my doors, but I always leave my back door unlocked. So because I work right on the beach, I was
Bad decision.
beachside, so
Bad decision.
I exactly like I was a lifeguard on the beach side, so all I had to do is walk up to the beach for work, and then usually on my lunch break I'd come back, hop my own porch and stuff, and go in my house. And two girls from work asked me if they could use my bathroom, and I said, yeah, sure. And they came back up to the beach, and they're like, what was with the note on your table, on your computer? And I was like, I was sitting playing RuneScape that morning before I left for work.
There was no
There
note.
was nothing on my computer when I left. And they're like, it had some crazy writing on it. And I go home and for lunch, and I check it out, and there's a plate, a paper plate folded up sitting on my laptop. And I'm like, what the actual fuck is this? Because she had been gone for 2 hours before I left for work. Like she was gone for 2 hours before I locked my house up. This crazy chick broke back into my house, wrote this crazy love letter about I'm the one that got away and all this crazy stuff. And some of my coworkers found it, and they never let me hear the end of that. Man, that I
Wow.
had to throw it out. They're like, I gave it to the girls, and I was like, yeah, you can have this. This can be like your joke. Like I don't even want to be associated with this.
Wow. Actually,
That's
wow.
yeah. So Tinder can be pretty unpredictable at
Wow.
times.
Okay. All right. That is wow. I don't even have word.
I'm sorry that was so long,
No,
but
that was good. I enjoyed it. I was there for every minute of it. I don't think you understand. I just experienced Izzy Asswad. Like I felt like I was in an episode of Criminal Minds. I don't think you understand. That was
yeah,
that was beautiful.
it
It was
was a
great.
different. You hear crazy
You hear
girls and
crazy,
stuff
but
like
that's insane. That's
yeah, that was
psychotic. Did she ever
yeah,
give you a
that was
reason as to why she came? Was there ever a reason that she like specifically gave
came to
you?
my beach
Yeah,
house.
was there ever like a this was actually the answer, I'm not crazy anymore conversation you ever had with her or no?
Well, I said like what why did you think this is a good idea? Like we haven't been talking, and like you said some crazy stuff about the pregnancy thing. Like we literally haven't been talking. And she's like, "Well, you told me where you lived." And I was like,
What?
"What?
What?
What?"
What? Excuse me, bitch. So what?
Yeah. Apparently that was an invitation, even though all the other stuff happened in between. And she just
Wow.
showed, and it was not even like it was like a 30-minute drive
No,
or an
seven
hour drive. It was
hours.
yeah, upstate New York, 7 hours
7 hours. I
down
mean,
to
what a
the
beautiful
coast.
drive, though. What a beautiful drive, though. That is necessarily a beautiful drive. Laney, now that we've heard about the wonderful horror stories coming from your main man Jack over here, I'd love to hear one of yours because I feel like women probably have way more horror stories than men. Like men, what do we get a woman with an extra toe and we're like ah. But like women, like there's just creepy dudes everywhere. Like I know like specifically already off the top of my head probably like 5 creepy dudes that I know in real life that I don't associate with. So like I can only imagine how bad it is for a woman who specifically is the target of most creepy dudes. So I'm very 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 curious.
I mean, honestly, I've had 3 boyfriends in my whole life, and one of them is Jack. Jack is the only person that I've met on Tinder, and luckily for me, it turned out pretty well. We were in college. Um, we like he came to my house, I think, and we had Subway one time and like played with puppies. And we moved in pretty soon after we met. and we've been really happy ever since. So
Well,
Love
damn.
story for
Well,
the
damn.
ages.
She brought it. She brought it home. That was a good way to solve that topic. She brought it home.
yeah.
You guys ever had e-girls, like an e-girl or an e-boyfriend? You guys ever had what like, online dating? Have you
Oh
ever
yeah.
had that? Like maybe not even online, maybe a distance. What like Laney? What would you say would be like your best online dating? Like what? Or have you ever had like an experience with that? Not just Tinder, but like maybe I don't know, texting back in the day, MSN. I don't know.
I mean, not really. I'm like kind of like I don't know. Jack has a lot more experience with the ladies than I do.
Oh, she's calling you out, Jack. She's
I
calling
Um,
you out. You better come with a good story. She's calling you out.
Yeah, I
but
remember.
yeah, I mean, me and Jack are long distance right now, so like all we do is text. But
How's that going, by the way? Well, like, what's your guys' take on the long distance? That's actually a perfect point to bring up because, like, we're talking about e-girls and talking about like just people you interface with a lot. Maybe not even just through like a video game like RuneScape, but what about like just interfacing over? Or is an e-girl someone you interface now with not only over Snapchat? I mean, Facebook, Tinder, LinkedIn. If you're feeling freaky, I'm just saying, like, it's become a thing to where an e-girl term I feel like is more broad. So, like, how's that distance affecting you guys? Because you guys started early with each other, right?
yeah, we lived together in real life for about like I don't know 4 months. And then he graduated and moved to Indiana, and 16-hour drive. We started, we would like FaceTime all the time, and we even like watched like TV together. We had like TV dates where we'd like both pull up the same show on Netflix and watch it together, and like it would be really cute. Um,
Sounds
and like we
adorable.
visit every time, like whenever I'm off school, I visit. So that's really nice.
So you guys, you've made it work essentially.
Yeah, it's about the little things. Like on Valentine's Day, I sent him chocolate covered strawberries to his house.
It's the little things,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Makes more sense.
I
Jack,
mean,
what would you
to
say?
to be honest, to add what she's saying, like it just takes really good communication. Like obviously it's hard not being able to see the person you love, but I mean, we make the best of breaks. She comes out here to Indiana and I pick her up at the airport and stuff, and it's really emotional, you know. It's almost like the first time we met every time that we
Oh
see
my
each other
god,
because
it's
we
an
spent
emotional fucking roller coaster.
The butterflies I would say you guys have are just electric. That brings us to a perfect segue for you guys, with Jack's probably greatest e-girl story I think we're ever gonna hear. I am fully aware and expecting, with the way she says you have the experience with the ladies. I'm fully aware and expecting you to knock it out of the park harder than Barry Bonds on steroids. So go ahead.
yeah, so everybody had RuneScape girlfriend at some point in
I
their.
already know this is going to be a great story just by how high your voice went before you started
I've never
talking.
heard this story. I've
He
never heard
literally,
this.
he literally goes, "Oh,
This takes
we
me
all have
back, man.
RuneScape girlfriends, right?" It was a fat dude named Tony. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It takes you back to your
His voice
childhood a
gets
little bit.
so.
I mean, it's a little embarrassing, but like I'm sure I'm not the only one that's ever had a RuneScape girlfriend at the time. You're a kid, you're not really
What do
aware
you
that.
consider girlfriend? Like, what did you do that made you a girlfriend with her? Like, did you
Oh, we
dance?
we we were taking each other to each other's house, play our own house, and like having sex, man.
Wait,
Man, I was.
Jack!
wait. Are you serious? Hold on.
Oh yeah,
Hold on a
I
second.
Sex?
yeah, we were having RuneScape sex, man. We were pretty badass. I mean, it's
I
so
need to
embarrassing.
no, you've got to elaborate because this I feel like this is a thing that a lot of people do, but no one ever talks about. I've never heard about it. And so it's just like a through the looking glass, man.
I'll admit it, man. I mean, back in the day, like when you don't even have, I'm talking like the age where you don't even have your own computer yet, so you got to kind of mooch off your parents. Well, my mom's laptop was upstairs by my room, and like they were always watching TV late at night downstairs,
Mm-hmm.
and they would assume I was in bed, and I just like I was so addicted to RuneScape, like I had to play it, and I had a girlfriend, so like I had to like go and see her. So I would hop out of bed. I would go into my mom's office and try to be like real quiet and like sneaky because like I knew the floor squeaked a bit.
And like a
And
certain
I would,
spot too. Like you had to avoid that certain spot.
yeah, like you mastered the art of the sneak when you're just trying to play video
When you're
games
trying
late
to
at
eat
night.
girls,
When you're
sneak
just trying to
around.
have sex with your RuneScape girlfriend.
Yeah, it was. I was what, like 10 years old or something, and basically, yeah, like I would sneak on and I would like message this girl and I'd have to type really quiet because I knew like if they heard the clacking keyboard downstairs, like they would know I was awake and like playing RuneScape. And they knew I was a total addict and was always playing as a kid. But like, yeah, I just remember like sneaking on and being like, hey babe, like I snuck online just to say hi and like I miss you and all that like lovey dovey crap. And then you know like you got the emotes on RuneScape where you can just, I mean it's not that graphic, but like you're head banging in front of a person and the other person's like dancing behind you or
Are you,
something.
wait, no,
Right.
no, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a
Yeah,
I
it's
what?
want to see. I want to see
This
this.
has to be I'm gonna have to look this up. But like
I'm surprised you don't know what I'm
no,
talking about.
I mean I've seen like maybe the jokes about it, but I've never seen anyone like you guys were sincerely like. I wonder if it was another. Did you ever
There's
confirm it was
definitely
a
a
chick?
guy.
Did you confirm it was a chick, or did we not know?
No, I'm pretty sure it was a guy. Like, there's
That's so fucked up.
But I was like a little kid at the time, you know. There's another one I had when I
Wait,
was
little
like
kid, how old were you?
10, man.
Okay, so around the same age, I was afraid of a stranger that's going to be outside my house. All right, no, I'm going to give you this
Yeah.
one. I'm going to give you this one.
Yeah, so like we did some dumb stuff as a kid, but there was a time where I should have known better. I was 14. I had my own computer at this time,
Mhm.
but I would still have to like sneak into the office, my office, to like get on my computer because I was supposed to be in bed or whatever. Um, and I had a RuneScape girlfriend, and I remember like she broke up with me, and that was probably the first breakup I really had. Like I hadn't had a girlfriend at that
Hit
time,
the
at that point in my
emotional
life
scars
yet,
now.
and basically she broke up with me, and I punched my laptop screen. I just had this like prepubescent rage. Where I just
If you could see my
punched my
face right now,
laptop.
you would literally be losing your mind. Just like my eyebrows just became my forehead. That's how surprised. Like that's how I was like, what? Like there was just so much happening.
You know, like you're finally experiencing bits of testosterone at 14, and
Chemicals as
I
such.
just punched straight through my laptop screen, and then I was like in a panic. You know, like not only could I not play RuneScape, but I just like broke my laptop, and I didn't have a job. I was 14, you know, so like what was I gonna do? So
Tell your
I
mom.
made up this whole story about, oh yeah, like sorry parents, like I accidentally tossed one of my math textbooks and it landed on my laptop and it like cracked the screen somehow. Like I don't know, but like I
Homework,
100%
no
punched my
homework.
screen.
Wait a second. Can we back up and just kind of have a topic point? I've got 2 topic points I want to hit on before we end here. So we've got some good more to go. I want to fill up my water and take another hit. I'm gonna a hit of happiness. YouTube. That's a hit of happiness is what we're gonna do, and wherever this is, I'm gonna go do that. And I want you guys to think about horrible lies you told as a child. Okay, so like the stuff Jack was saying, because I can remember plenty of things. Horrible lies I told as a child to get out of some shit, and intoxication either through video games, like playing video games while intoxicated, like stupidest stuff you've done. I think Jack also has something about a god sword we can talk about. So
Aw.
we're gonna go over some things. I want you guys to think of those stories, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes. I just gotta go fill up my water. It'll take 2 seconds. Okay, baby.
Oh man,
Oh, Jackie.
you were there. You can tell that story. I was
About your god sword?
yeah, I was teaching you pest control, and I tried to show
Oh,
off,
yeah.
and I dropped my
You
god
weren't
sword, and
drunk?
then the game ended, and then it was gone.
Oh,
It's okay. It's funny.
I'm sad.
It's funny. I mean, now I'm a lot richer than I used to be on the game, so like it's fine. But at the time, I wanted to cry, and you were just telling me it was pixels, and I
I
was getting
know.
mad at you.
I didn't know what else to do.
Comfort me.
It's just pixels, honey.
I mean, this is actually hilarious. This podcast is absolutely hilarious. It's a good idea. I'm getting another
Doing
beer.
better than I thought. Wait, what are you doing?
Beer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on my way back. I'm heading to the chair. Sponsored by water. It's free.
Beer is not free.
Beer is not free. All right, I'm guessing you guys have come up with some wonderful stories since I've been gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, all right, I'm gonna let Laney start because I feel like I've started or Jack has started. We haven't started with Laney enough, so I want Laney to really lean into what you're feeling about an intoxication story. How am I still logged into both of these accounts? I must not have taken that long. Tell me your best or worst intoxication story with a video game or just in general or whatever you've done telling stupid lies as a kid. Go for whatever you want.
So I have a stupid lie as a kid, and I also have a video game intoxication.
Oh, do the video game one first. We'll do the stupid lie after. I want to end on that because that's going to explode our conversation.
Okay, so I don't drink unless I'm with Jack because I'm not. I just turned 20.
Okay, fair enough.
So when I get really drunk, all I want is McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Like, it took me an extra second to be like, is that it? Like like I expected it to be like something crazy like McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Oh no, dude,
and
you don't
sauce.
understand this crazy.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to hear it out. Sorry, go ahead.
And so I like distinctly remember me and Jack. It was over winter break. He was in his office and I was on the couch. We were both playing RuneScape, or I think I was on my computer. I think I was playing like either RuneScape or Roblox or something because I was really drunk.
Yeah, you were just chilling.
And I'm sitting there, like I'm kind of drunk. He's kind of drunk, and I'm smelling like weed. And I'm like, okay, like that's cool. We don't have any weed here. Like Jack doesn't smoke weed. And I'm like, maybe it's just like the people next door. And then I like keep smelling it. Like I'm smelling it a lot. Like really a lot. And so I go into his office and he has like a tiny little thing and a lighter. I'm like, Jack, what are you doing? And he's like, we ran out of beer. And like I'm kind of drunk, he's kind of drunk. We like got into a little fight about it because I wanted some. And then I think we just got McDonald's.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
McDonald's is right around the corner, and I
Yeah,
just
we went
remember
to McDonald's and I got my cheeseburgers.
How many did you get though? Like, is the real question.
Oh, I get double cheeseburger, 2 cheeseburgers.
2 cheeseburgers? That's fair. I thought you were like, give me 17 cheeseburgers and a McFlurry. How much?
She gets
I'm
so
gonna tip it.
excited about it though. When I bring her back some McDonald's or whatever, if I bring her a cheeseburger, she gets so happy. It's so funny. She's like, this is what I wanted.
Oh my god,
Shit,
yeah.
those things hit 3s. No wonder I've been getting fucked up. Sorry, I'm playing the hardcore. No, I think that's crazy, the fact that you're just like, we ran out of beer. So like, what, you just had weed? Like, where'd that come from? That doesn't give me an where the hell did you get the weed substance?
I tried to be so secretive about it too. I had the office door shut and the window open, and I was trying to blow it out the door. And next thing I know, she comes in and she's like, have you been smoking weed?
I can just see you like, I'm not.
No.
Sound like you're just turning into Richard Nixon. You're coughing so hard, like you're just fucking dying. Oh my god. No, but like that's the type of life that I want to live. I want to live to the part where like, do you have weed? I'll smoke it with you. Weed is not a legal substance. We don't indulge it here, kids. Weed is as long as you're in a state that it is legal and I don't disclose my location, you are safe on the internet. Okay, so that is your story. Who's next? Who wants to go?
I'll go. I mean,
Hit it, man.
I I love to play RuneScape drunk, man.
I know you
Best.
do,
It
bud.
makes the
I know
game so
you.
much more
I know
fun,
you
and
do.
I've had a couple nights where I have friends on RuneScape that are a couple,
Oh,
Mike and
talk
Shelby.
about that one time
What one time?
where we all played the drinking game.
That's how I am. I'm getting into that.
Oh, hey, look, hey, it must be a good fucking story if it's on both of you guys' wavelength. First of all,
Gosh,
can we just say how much water I've drank during this podcast? I am a bottle and a half down of this Brita filter. Oh my god.
that's good, man. That's healthy.
All right, go
Got
on.
it balanced.
Go ahead.
Key.
So my friends Mike and Shelby are a couple that I've
Don't
known
use
on
last
RuneScape
names
for a
anymore. We
while.
don't want Izzy Asswad to go after anybody, okay? We don't.
It's not, I don't even know them on that level really. But they were playing a drinking game,
Yeah.
and they were playing drunk Jenga.
Oh,
And I know about it. I mean, it's where you have like a Jenga tower and you pull blocks out, and there's rules about drinking on these blocks, and you have to do what the block says. And if you knock the whole tower over, you got to finish your drink or whatever. And they said they're playing drunk Jenga, but they were both playing RuneScape simultaneously. So I said, "Hey, let me in," and they're like, "All right." And we joined their clan chat, and they would pull out a Jenga block for me and tell me like, "Okay, your block says give 3 sips." So you would give 3 sips to a person. We actually played this drinking game
what
through
the
RuneScape,
fuck?
and it was great. I mean, I got hammered, and then we started to get a little too drunk to keep playing Jenga. Like we were knocking it down every single time, so it wasn't really that fun anymore. And I got Laney into it. I told her to join the clan chat, and we turned it into a Never Have I Ever.
Uh-oh.
So we were just drinking and playing Never Have I Ever, where you have like 5 lives, and then they would pull from a deck of cards that they had and say like, "Never have I ever had sex on the beach," and if you had done that, then you lost one of your lives and had to drink a little bit. So it turned really fun, and I mean I also drink during raids now. I think it's a great, like when you go dry at raids, like 40 kill count at
You're like
raids.
that old veteran just like, it's another day. Takes a sip of the beer.
Exactly. Like sometimes you just got to boost the morale a little bit and have fun with it. So like I started a drinking game where you have a beer every time you don't get a drop. And raids are about 30-40 minutes. So like every 30-40 minutes you're having another beer because chances are you're probably not
Didn't
getting
get
a drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's honestly a great way to pass the time and get through 10 raids or something in a night, and you don't get anything, but hell, you're still having fun with it. So I definitely have fun like that, you know.
It's definitely a blast.
What about you, Curtis? I'm sure you have great stories with this.
Well, I'm trying to think. There was one night, I think in particular, it was just there's a lot of good stories there, but I mean, I've been intoxicated quite a bit. I mean, intoxication is kind of my thing when it comes to playing RuneScape. I didn't ever used to be. I think sobering enough, as I might say it, I was perfectly fine with being sober when I would just play RuneScape before. But then when I got high for the first time, everyone's like, "This is how addiction happens." Okay, well, easy, Seabiscuit, calm down, put your picket fence down on the ground. People generally see it as a problem, but when I took it and I smoked, what was it? When I was killing Jad. You remember that, right? I was high killing Jad.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was epic as fuck, bro. I felt
I
like,
don't know how you didn't die.
dude,
in all
and then
honesty.
I was high, and then I ran out of fucking scales or darts or something. I got a range level. Like, I ran out
Yep.
completely in the middle of the fight. And I haven't fucked with Jad in a long time. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it, man. I'm not going to be able to do it. And then his healers come out. His healers glitch and respawn when they're not supposed to because they didn't get him far enough away. So I'm over here freaking out. And then finally I end up killing Jad. I got like 91 range or something, like some randomly high level. I got that level and then got the fire cape on the account I was on. I was just laughing my ass off because I was freaking out the whole time. I was like, no. I had to flick prayers, change my fucking dart types in my blowpipe and make sure that everything was still working, all while making sure the healers didn't knock me out. That was, you remember that, Jack? That was the most
That's
intense.
exciting.
It was like, I'll add some music in post. Here, let me just, there. Perfect. All right, imagine lots of noise. It'll be great. It's gonna be fantabulous. You'll love it when you see this. If you want to listen back to it, I think our final thing. Since I mean that's my thing. I don't know. What do you think? Do you have a intoxication story, or is that pretty much it for you? Is that it for everybody?
I mean, I've had a good night in real life. I've had a few good nights in
No,
real life.
that's a
and
whole other podcast. We can do that
I was
after
gonna
this
say,
one.
Laney
We can
can
record
contribute
another
to
one
that.
and just go. We're just gonna vibe tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we can move on to lies we told our parents as children.
Yeah. I'm gonna start with this one actually. I am wow. First of all, let me just say I am wow, ladies and gentlemen, folks at home, boys and girls across the world. You know what I mean when I say I'm wow. Okay, but what I will say is when I was younger, I was a destructive little shit. I broke shit all the fucking time. Dad, if you're watching, I'm still not sorry because I was negligent because you didn't teach me shit. Okay. No, but
It's your fault.
So there's multiple times where I told stupid ass lies, but I think the most outlandish one was when I broke my dad's headlight on his truck by throwing rocks at it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for some reason I threw rocks at my own father's fucking headlights. But you know, it's to this day, it's different. You know, it's who it is, it's who it was, who I am. I threw rocks at his headlights, and I broke one of them. And the story I fucking told, I swear to God, I could have written for M. Night Shyamalan, boys. I swear to God, I was fucking trying to talk to him. I was like, Dad, listen, you're not going to believe. Like, I went and told him, you know, like, because if they find it and you tell them something, it's a lie, right? So I went and told him. I was like, I'm gonna use this to my working extent. I'm gonna be the snitch because I didn't do it. So I hit my dad up with, Dad, you're not gonna believe it. This guy, he came driving down the road. He was all mad. He was yelling. He said, I hate Glenn Hinkle. And he threw something out the window. And I found it. And it was a rock. It looked like a rock hit your front of your car. It's not important as to what happened. It hit your car. The headlights broken. Dad, he drove off. I didn't get the license plate. It was too fast. I'm over here just going on and on and on for absolutely no reason. There was no reason to continue to go on. My fucking father was not amused because my brother has teased me for years about that shit. No joke. That is something he still brings up to this day about like, are you sure it wasn't some guy driving by the road throwing out some bullshit, screaming shit? It's so fucking real. Like, I never will make up a lie. That's a lie that I would have made up while I was intoxicated. But that I was very much a sober, like 7-year-old dumbass. I think that was probably the most intoxication I had. What do you think for lies? You said you had a really good story earlier, Laney. What are you thinking?
So, I'm sure I've told like a lot of really bullshit lies, but the one that like automatically popped into my head was I have a little brother. He's like 5 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
He was maybe like a year old. And he like was on his playmat on the floor and then like on the living room floor and my mom was in the shower or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like supposed to be watching my little brother. And I'm like a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, whatever. I like really don't care about this little baby on the floor. And so I accidentally stepped on him. Ooh. But like not a full step.
Ooh.
Not a full step.
Attempted murder in the podcast, no? Oh, was it successful? Homicide! Oh, no. Sorry, go ahead.
Just like my foot like touched him.
Okay.
And he started screaming and screaming because he was a little baby. And my mom heard it and I was like, Laney, like, why is your brother crying? And I was like, oh, I don't know, Mom, I don't know. And like I didn't tell anyone until like a couple years ago, and it like popped into my head and I thought it was like really like fucking hilarious that I stepped on my little brother. And so I told him and he beat me up.
The fuck?
He was like, you stepped on me? And I was like, yeah.
Maybe that's why it turned out like that.
Fucking, no, at least he didn't say like, you stepped on me. Good thing he didn't turn out like, I mean, and no offense to anybody, but that's funny. That's fucking great.
That's actually hilarious.
That's fucking quality. All right. That's fucking good. Thank you, Laney. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jack, give me the stupidest lie you've ever told.
All right, so when I was 4, I used to get those.
I
Those. I
just
mean,
love
this
that
is
it
genius.
starts out when you were 4. That's how you know
Yeah,
it's
dude.
gonna be good.
I mean, it's stupid as fuck. Kids are stupid, but like you gotta understand. Like for a 4-year-old, this is pretty genius, right?
Yeah.
So basically, we got those Oriental Trading Company magazines with all the cool stuff in it. That's like real cheap for
Oh
like
my god, I
porn.
know exactly what this story is.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
basically, in this magazine, I homed in on these fake security cameras. And I was like, these are the most badass things. Like, you could put cameras in corners of rooms and intimidate people. Like, as a 4-year-old, I understood, like, at banks and stuff, you have these security cameras, and it's scary because people are watching you. And if you do something bad, like, you go to jail
Yeah, it's
or
game over.
whatever.
You're caught.
Yeah, like it's on camera. So I'm like, I need to get these, man. But I'm like, they're $30 a piece. Like, I don't have money.
I don't have
So what am I
money.
gonna do? And I was like, oh well, my parents use this thing called a checkbook a lot, and I know where they put it. So I'm gonna take one of their envelopes in this little drawer here.
You
There's a
did
million. They're
not.
not gonna.
You
They all
did
look the
not.
same. Yep, I did. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I wrote my own check, and I wrote it to Best Buy because I was a genius. I wrote a check out to Best Buy for the cameras. Like the check literally made no sense. There was no date, there was no signature, there was no amount of money because I could not add the amount that 4 cameras would cost. I said and when it said like, what do you want to pay for? Like pay to the order of, and I said Best Buy for 4 cameras. And I put this check inside the envelope and I wrote Best Buy on the front of the envelope. I'm like, that's a good enough address. They're going to know what I mean. And for a stamp, I was like, how do you get a stamp? I'm like, well, it's just some stupid fucking smiley face glued to the front of the envelope, right? I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to draw a little smiley
Oh
face
my god.
and cut it out
Oh my god.
and then stick it to the damn envelope with a gooey lizard. There's like ones that you swing around and you can stick them on the walls. I ripped off a piece of my gooey lizard, like his hand, and I used that. I used that as the adhesive for this stamp, which was literally a pencil drawn smiley face circle that I cut out and I stuck it to the envelope and I put it in the mailbox to
Okay.
Best Buy,
Oh god.
like literally nothing else on the front of the envelope besides this smiley face and Best Buy.
Oh
And the
my
check
god.
said 4 security cameras or something on it, like really dumb. And the mailman literally like picked it up and I was like watching, we're all gardening out in the front yard. I see the mailman pull up and I'm like, this is it, man. Like this is the real deal. Like he's coming, like he's taking
This
my
is
shit. Like
this is it. This is
and the
it.
mailman takes the letters out of the mailbox, goes 1, 2, 3, 4, sorts through them, and then sees mine, and he just stops, and his head kind of tilted to the side, and then my mom's like right up by the mailbox planting daffodils or
Uh-oh.
something, and he's like, "Did what is this?" Like he took one
It was
look at it.
essentially he's like, the fuck?
He's like he started laughing. Like it was obvious that the 4-year-old kid that was also outside tried to put something in the mail based on
How it looked.
themes that he'd been seeing. A stamp, write something on the front, write some bullshit on the money paper, and then throw it in the mailbox,
Sticky,
and you
sticky
get
it,
stuff back. And my parents were mad that I like tried to forge a check, but they thought it was so funny. You know what I mean? And I was like, I didn't do that. Like I tried to deny it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know how that got in there. Like, I don't know. But then I just kind of owned up to it after a while, and I was like, yeah, like I thought the security cameras were cool. And they're like, they were fake, right? They were literally just like fake boxes that you stick on the wall that look like cameras that don't do anything. And I was like, yeah, but like still kind of cool, I mean,
It seems it seems to me like you tried to commit check fraud at age 4.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like literally forged a check when I was 4 years old for
That
some
was the
security
beginning for
cameras.
Liam Neeson before he turned into the Checkinator. I'm,
And like honestly, if I figured out how to get a real stamp, I was kind of curious how far it would go along.
I wonder.
You know?
Well, I mean, at what point would they just be like, like, what if everyone else's thought was like, oh yeah, Best Buy, let's send it there. Like that's where Tom
Oh,
works.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's a great
that's a
address.
great
I know
address.
exactly
I'm just
what
gonna
that
send it.
is.
Well, I mean, usually you know where the nearest Best Buy is. Like, if we're being
Hmm.
on, it's like, no, send it to Applebee's. Oh, we'll find it. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
it's
I
always in
tried
it's your
my best,
neighborhood. It's
man.
always in your neighborhood. Um,
I knew where the Best Buy was. I figured the mailman would. I mean, that's his job, you know. So I just wrote
so
Best Buy.
essentially, we have a girl who has. Let's sum it up here. Let's all sum it up together. Let's go from the beginning. Think about we have a girl who's been hit on by creepy, wonderful stalkery men, horrible bullshit. Real life situations. Has learned not as much, but is learning that there's a lot of goals and dopamine from Miss Beautiful Laney. Thank you, Laney. Any final thoughts before we head to the end here?
We definitely learned that Jack is the cooler one of the two of us. But that is
Oh
okay.
yeah.
That's not true. You guys both have your perspectives, and it's honestly great.
I was just dumb as a kid, man. I'm
Dumb
not
as a
cool.
kid. It's all right. We're working on it. As far as Jack, the wonderful man who brought up such differences as being able to use stuff in math and just utilize how much he learned from RuneScape, and also many different stories of how he was dumb with RuneScape. But I think if we hesitate to guess, Jack, I think that probably did help you quite a bit. Learn, like, hey, what am I doing? Hey, what do I got to work on? Where can I make things better? Leading up to you guys obviously having this awesome relationship that you guys have, which we're going to have them on here more. We're going to have Miss Laney and Mr. Jack of 91 here on the podcast a couple more times here soon. Jack, any final thoughts for you?
I mean, not really. I think we touched on some great topics. I mean, we got to bring up some great concerns. I mean, Tinder's kind of fucked
That's a
up
problem.
as
That's
you're
a fucking,
currently experiencing.
mm-hmm.
Like, I
It's a
mean,
fucking
it's.
problem.
I mean, you got banned,
I got
so
banned.
like,
I didn't even do anything. I got banned. I don't know. How about we're gonna save that. We're gonna save that for the next episode. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna talk a little bit more about why I got banned and what's really wrong with Tinder. We're gonna deep dive on Tinder. We're gonna go in there and just hit it as hard as we can to just kind of see really at the core, where did Tinder go wrong? All right, guys, I'm gonna head out of here, and you guys have a great rest of the day. I'll see you on the next time of Highly Intoxicated.